Hello and welcome to MotorBeam. Today we have with us Abhishek, the proud owner of a Honda Civic. And in this video, he's going to walk us through all the highs and lows of owning this car. So Abhishek, welcome to MotorBeam. Please tell us a little more about yourself, about what you do, and also tell us a little bit more about your car.
Well, as you know, my name is Abhishek and I'm an engineer by qualification, and I work with my dad. We have a factory for modular furniture in Naigaon. The car over here is a Honda Civic, but a 2007 model.
Okay, that's really great to know, Abhishek. So now, when you brought this car, were there any other options that you considered? Did you have any other cars in mind? And what made you choose the Honda Civic specifically?
Honestly, there were no other options. There was no competition at all. Although there are a lot of great cars out in the market, but the Civic was the only choice. Since I previously also owned a Civic back in 2006 when it had just launched.
Now tell us a little bit more about the design of this car. So when you take it out on the road, does it tend to grab attention when you're out on the highway, when you're out in the city?
Definitely. There is no place in Mumbai or anywhere in India where the Civic does not manage to turn heads.
True.
This is an amazing design what they came up with, and it was very futuristic for its time.
Definitely, definitely. And now that was about people on the road, grabbing attention with your car. What about your family and friends? What was their reaction when you brought this car, and do they love it?
My family, well, they are loyal to the Honda family from 2006. As for my friends, they always want a free ride in one of the hottest cars that has been out.
True, definitely. Even speaking of rides, even I want to ride in this car, and we'll talk a little bit more about your beautiful Honda Civic. So should we go for a spin?
Definitely. Let's go.
Chalo. Okay, so Abhishek, now that we are in for a drive in your car, the first question that I've got to ask you is, how many kilometers have you completed on this car?
Well, when I bought this car, as I mentioned, it's a pre-owned vehicle.
Yeah.
I purchased it at 30,000 kilometers. And now I've completed 71,000.
71,000 kilometers, that's a lot of kilometers. What's the furthest you've taken this car and gone, and do you have any memorable driving experiences with it?
The max I've gone with this is to Daman.
Okay.
But the most memorable thing that happened was with my Civic, which I had owned in 2006.
Okay, yeah.
We managed to make a 4-hour drive into 12 hours.
Oh,
just
wow.
From Mumbai to Nasik.
Oh, damn. And how did that happen? Like 4 hours to 12 hours?
So there was a diversion.
Okay.
On the Mumbai-Nasik road, which led us to take a very unconventional route.
Okay.
Not fit for something less than an SUV.
Oh,
but the Civic managed.
Oh, damn. That's really great to know, man. So, I mean, that proves that the Civic can also, it's also a very capable car basically. So that's kind of getting into my next question, which is, what are the things that you love the most about this car?
Let me see. So basically the first thing that stood out in this car is the digital speedometer.
Yeah.
Which was way ahead of its time.
Definitely, yeah.
I think you would agree, and everyone agrees on that. The next thing was the opposing wipers, which was also new. Back in the day in 2006, that was unheard of.
Yes, yes. And anything else that you like about the car?
It's just top-notch design, man.
I mean, yeah, I remember back in 2007, I was just 7 years old, and that's the first time I had seen the Honda Civic. And like you said, the digital speedometer, the opposing windscreen wipers, it just blew my mind. And I was a kid back then, and I remember saying, whoa, this car looks so futuristic. And even now, all these years later, it's 2022, I'm 22 now. And still, every time I look at a Civic or I get into a Civic, there's that feeling ki it hasn't aged that much basically, and it sort of has managed to still carve out an identity for itself even among all these modern cars. And that's really great to know, Abhishek. But sometimes there can be flaws with our cars, regardless of how much we love them. And so, are there any cons in your car, any flaws about it that you don't necessarily like?
Definitely, it's there are a couple of things. The ones that stand out is a common Honda problem, I would say, is the ground clearance.
Oh, yeah.
For Indian roads, no ways. This is not what we want, but it's a good car. The other thing is, well, after the age, the amount of years that this car has been running, the maintenance, the part cost keeps on increasing.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult to maintain at this time what we are in today.
Exactly. So how easy is it for you to source parts when you head to the service center? Do you get parts immediately, or like what is the waiting period generally like?
It all depends on what I'm exactly looking for. If I have to go for a major work in the car, it takes about a week or two at least.
All right.
Because the parts are coming from another part of India altogether.
Okay.
If it's a normal service, they are done with it within a day.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's nice. And that is actually getting into my next question, which is the service experience. Now, this is what? This is a 16-year-old car, 15-year-old car.
Yes.
So, how is the service experience? Do you still take it to the Honda dealership? Do you take it to other garages? And how's the service experience been for you with this car?
Personally, I always make sure that my car goes into a Honda dealership.
Okay.
And yes, the work that they do is amazing. It's clear. They give you every single detail, what is going to be done to the car.
All right.
And also after the vehicle is done, every single detail is shared with you. So my experience has always been good.
How much, like how expensive is it basically or how cheap is it to run a car like this?
For a car like this, which is almost in the premium category, it's, let's say it's a medium range somewhere.
All right.
Like at least if I go for a normal service, I would shell out 10 grand.
Okay, okay.
If it's somewhere for the major work, then there's definitely going towards the 20s.
Oh, okay. Now, about this car, about the interiors of this car more specifically, how do you feel when you step inside the interior? Like, what is the feeling that you get? Is it a feeling, is it a premium feeling basically?
I would describe it in this way. So, the first time when I sat in the Civic, back in 2006, everyone, including myself, we all felt we were in the cockpit of an airplane. And that is genuinely what you still feel today, because there is no other vehicle that has come close to giving this sort of interiors what the Civic has managed to give.
True.
It is quite comfortable because of the bucket seats. It's quite cooling inside. The cabin noise is very low. It's quite comfortable if you ask me.
So tell us a little bit about the audio system in your car and what type of music do you generally tend to listen to?
So this Civic has 4 awesome speakers, 2 tweeters, and the music that plays is amazing.
Okay. And what type of music do you listen to generally?
I'm more of a hip-hop, rap. Actually, you give me any song, I'll listen to it. I'm a guy from the 90s. I'm not very picky.
Rap is cool, man. And obviously, talking about engine performance. So driving this car in the city and on the highway, how does it feel like in terms of the performance? Is the performance good? Is it bad? Are you happy with it?
The performance in the city is okay. Anyways, it's Mumbai traffic, you can't complain much.
True.
Out in the highway, it's amazing. I get a good 11-ish on an everyday basis since I travel every day on the Mumbai-Gujarat highway. So I get a good performance over there. I get to zoom up to at least 120.
Okay.
So I'm happy. Everyone's happy.
How do you feel about its handling, especially in day-to-day conditions? How does the Civic really handle?
To be honest, the car isn't exactly meant to be for Indian roads.
Okay.
The way the roads are maintained out over here, it really hurts when something hurts the car. But otherwise, if it's a smooth road like on major highways, the Eastern Express Highway and places like that, it is very smooth. You can maneuver very well. Even take good cuts if you're in a very bad situation.
All right. Okay. And what about the ride quality?
It's very smooth.
Okay.
I have no complaints regarding that. Just that when the roads are not well equipped, that's when the problem arises.
Okay. Okay, so Abhishek, now describe your car in just one word.
Oof. Diabolical.
Diabolical. That's from the boys, right?
That is from the boys.
Great show, man. Great
and
show.
This car is for the boys.
Okay, Abhishek, as you know, Honda has discontinued the Civic. I mean, even the new Civic you can't buy anymore. But I think there is a market still for the older Civics. I mean, the type that you have. And a lot of enthusiasts, especially people from the younger generation, they want to get their hands on a car like this because it's as you said, it's spacious and it's big and it's got that sort of futuristic design. So, is there any advice, some things that you need to look out for like if there's a potential buyer who wants to buy this car, is there some advice you want to give them?
The capability of paying the maintenance of the vehicle.
Okay, yeah.
Or else it's just going to burn a hole in your pocket.
Okay, yeah.
So being enthusiastic is good, but like, yeah, you have to see it in the long run, how long it can serve you.
Definitely. And I mean, my next question was also to do with the Civic exiting our market. Do you think, the Honda Civic will make a comeback in the Indian market? And also, what do you feel about the Type R cars? I mean, the Type R name is like so famous with many of us Indian car enthusiasts. So do you think will Honda bring the Civic back into India, and will there ever be a Type R car coming to our country?
I have a feeling the Civic may come back, maybe in an electric version. As for the Type R, I'm not very sure if it is a wise thing to enter Indian markets, considering the type of people who would want to buy it. Like, generally it's a lot of expense for something like that.
True.
Take for example the Lancer Evolution itself.
Yeah.
It's a car very old. A lot of people want it, but a lot of people cannot afford it in India. So that's way far away.
So Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us here at MotorBeam and sharing the ownership experience of your Honda Civic.
You're most welcome, Titus.
Now guys, if you too have a car and you're eager to share your ownership experience with us, feel free to hit us up at contact@motorbeam.com, and we'd love to have you on board to share your ownership experience. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe on our MotorBeam channel. See you in the next one. Bye.